Hey everyone, how's it going today? Coach Alvarez here, back at you with another episode, Coffee with Coach. Hope you're up, doing well, got the mind in the right place. If not, as always, let's put it in the right place. So before I go off and take my dog for a walk and then head up to the school to teach and train some jiu-jitsu, I want to get this little nugget that I just picked up that goes with the conversation that I had with both of my classes yesterday. So I was at the 10:30 a.m. class and then the 7 p.m. class, and the things that I was talking to my class about, my students about, is in direct correlation with what I just stumbled upon this morning. So I've been listening to this podcast lately, and whenever I see Ed Milet's name, I normally click on it. Just like, if you don't know who Ed Milet is, I've talked about him in numerous episodes, kind of just relate a lot of information that he's talked about. So if it's the first time you're hearing about Ed, check him out. He's all over YouTube, Instagram, very positive, inspirational, successful individual. And I stumbled upon him, a couple years ago, and I've been listening to him ever since. Really like the things that he has to say. Again, everyone has a different way of relaying information, and he's got a great way of doing it, and it's very powerful stuff. So anyways, wake up this morning, get the day started. YouTube recommends another video. So Ed Milet on success, faith, and building $100 million business. I'm going to click on that, right? Because it's got everything. It's got success, it's got faith, it's got building business. I'm about all those things, right? So in this first part of this video, well, it's about 18 minutes in or so, he's talking about standards, not goals, okay? And this goes right in along with, because I didn't have any of this stuff planned out. Some of this stuff I'll listen to and I'll break it up, right? So I'll come in my office, I'll take notes. I was like, all right, I'm going to talk about this, and then tomorrow this, and then tomorrow this, because I got to break things up in pieces because these videos are so long. Can't talk about all these things at once. And so this wasn't planned, but it just happens the way this stuff works out. When you're listening to stuff like this or you're looking for it, it just kind of falls in your lap like that. So 3 days ago, I was talking about the end game, okay? And then yesterday, I was talking about being in alignment with your end game. So if you have a goal, you have an end game in mind of where you want to be in life, health, fitness, financial, mental, whatever, business, you got to have an end game somewhere, right? And good morning to everyone hopping on. And then you got to be in alignment with that end game, okay? So you got something in your mind where you want to be, you have a goal where you want to be, the end game. And then you have to put yourself in alignment with those things, doing the things that are going to get you there. Obviously if it's a healthy eating thing, having bad foods and eating fried foods isn't going to help you get there, right? So you got to change things up. Same thing what this thing is talking about this morning is the standards and not the goals. And what he's talking about is in relationship to what I was telling my students yesterday. So it just depends on what I love my classes. They're 10:30, 7 p.m. Each class, 6 a.m. class guys or girls, a crew, and the 10:30 a.m. crew and the 7 p.m. crew and the kids class, they all have different personalities. Everyone likes to make jokes. The classes are all funny. It's good times. Everyone in there is it's a lot of fun to be around. And so, but then there's times where, I do have to, be serious because I'm trying to bring much more to the mats than just jiu-jitsu, self-defense techniques and training hard. A lot of it is just personal development, what these videos are about. So anyways, Ed is talking about, as he's older, okay, I think he's 50 years old now or whatever. And he's talking about he's more self-aware of, his standards, who he is as a person, okay, and how he conducts himself, what he thinks about each day, the people that he's around, the things that he does. And basically, to me, just like daily habits, things that you're doing on a daily basis to put yourself in a position to be successful. And so you have certain standards that you just will not drop yourself down to, okay? You got a bar set really high, And every day you're trying to get to that bar or above that bar and never below the bar. And if you don't have any standards, especially like who the people that you hang around with, or how they think or how they do things and what their mindset is, then you're basically not setting standards for yourself. For me, people that know me definitely know that I have certain standards that I go by. And that's what I'm talking about with my students yesterday, the daily habits. So I asked some of the students yesterday about, fixing their bed, just simple things like that, right? Like, who fixed their bed this morning? And of course, everyone looks around and, no one really fixes their bed. It's like a horrible way to start the day. Okay. If you're not able to just get up in the morning and give yourself a few extra minutes to turn around and shake the sheets off and fluff the pillows up and fix your blankets and make your bed look nice and neat to start the day off with a win. Okay. And then I talk about with my students that every day, of course, I'm on Facebook every day because of the videos that I'm listening to. I start my day off with these videos. So for the last couple of hours, I've been listening to this video, to this podcast over and over again. I'm rewinding and rewinding. I'm like, what did he just say? I want it to stick. I want it to go. I want to be able to take the information, not just listen to it, but actually use it and then put it into place. And then it's the same thing. I get the coffee. I got the same things in my coffee every morning, the healthy stuff that I put in my coffee, cinnamon, MCT, oil, coconut oil. And then I have my shakes. I just had a green, like a protein shake. Okay. I have protein powder. And then I got my coconut water. I got my green powder that gets all my greens in there. I got a beetroot powder and I have that in the morning. Then I have my liter of water. Actually, it's 1.5 liters. Got a vitamin C pack in there. With some amino acids, and that's how I start my day every single day. It's just the same routine, hydrating and get my body prepped for what I'm getting ready to do in the next couple hours and then throughout the rest of the day. The dishes thing, I was telling my students yesterday about the dishes. Like, there is no more dish rack. Okay, when I moved and I was living at the other house, we had a dish rack, and it's just so easy just to do dishes and just stuff things in the dish rack. And then what happens? You get lazy, you don't dry them, you don't put them away. And then next time you do dishes, it just piles up. And next thing you know, when you go to you're trying to fit stuff in there. You're trying to, wiggle things in there where they don't belong. And next thing you know, dishes fall on the floor. You got to rewash them. And it's like, we got to this new house. I was like, no more dish rack. Like, I'm tired of the way that looks. It looks sloppy. It looks unorganized. It just looks lazy is what it looks like. So I don't want anything to do with that. So we got rid of that. And now when we do dishes, we dry them, put them away, and the counter's clean. It looks perfect, right? I was talking to my students yesterday about washing their cars, cleaning their cars. To me, it has to be done every week. Every week, like if it rains, the next day I'm washing my car. Like it has to be cleaned up. The inside has to be clean. Everything around me, these daily habits have helped me just do other successful daily habits, and it continues to build and build and build. But what if? And I was telling my students this yesterday. I get up, I don't fix the bed. Okay, I don't. This day, I don't, I have a shake, and then tomorrow I don't. I hydrate this morning, but then tomorrow I don't. And then I do dishes, I wash dishes, and then I don't do them. I wash clothes, I don't fold them, I put them away, and there's like a stack of stuff all over my dryer, right? I don't clean my car out every week, and then every week there's wrappers, there's clothes, there's bird boo-boo all over the hood. And I mean, those things eventually pile up into just messy, unorganized, sloppy daily habits to where it just doesn't really go into a good direction. So it's a lot of work, but it's worth it because I have certain standards of the things that I wanted to achieve and be like every day. And it's monotonous, and sometimes it's annoying. And it's like, I ask myself, like, man, dude, like, you just take a day off from this stuff. But if I do, what happens? The stuff piles up. I got more work to do. That sucks even more than just having to just stay after it every single day. So the things that I think about, the people that I'm around, how I conduct myself, I'm more self-aware of that. Again, these guys talk about it. Ed talks about it in this video. Like, he's like, man, he goes, I got a bad temper. I get ornery. He says things and does things. I talk about this in my podcast. Like, no one's perfect. I get the same way. You can get upset at things when you shouldn't be getting upset. You get ornery. You get like whatever. Everyone has bad days. You say things, you do things. But if you're self-aware of and having standards every day, then less likely you're going to fall apart and continue down a path where you shouldn't be going down if you're more aware of where you're trying to be at every single day. So it's the same things every single day, just like today. Today's, I'm lifting weights today. So I got to get up to the academy. Today I do squats, I do pull-ups, I work on abs, and then tomorrow's run day, and so on and so forth. It's the same thing. It never changes. Okay, it never changes. It never becomes, well, I'm gonna take a day off. It just can't, because I have standards that I put in place to where I want to be. The same thing with my academy. It's a mindset thing. I really work on the mindset with my academy. So many different personalities, so many different upbringings, and people that come in. I don't know everyone's story, and throughout the time I get to know that. But one thing is for sure is when you come in, there is it's not written down anywhere, but it's just, you feel it in the atmosphere and in the room. We're about work ethic. Okay, if you're feeling lazy, you're feeling tired, we're gonna get that out of you. And if you're really not getting with the program, then you'll probably want to just go home and leave the mat because you're just not fitting in. Okay, it's something that I will just not allow anyone to bring to my mat area a crappy attitude, bringing extra baggage in from whatever's happening in your life to the mat area, and then bring negative vibes to the mat, laziness, you name it. Anything that has to do with that is not allowed on my mat. And you know that when you come in and train. And for the students that know that, or that train with me, they know that. They know that when you come in, you're clocking in. It's time to go to work. It's time to, no matter what kind of day you had, we're there with an objective to get better and to get to a better place with our mindset and our physical and mental and everything. And we can't do that if I'm just like happy-go-lucky, do what you want to do kind of coach, and train how you want to train kind of coach, and train with whoever you want to train with kind of coach. No, it doesn't work that way. There's standards. There's this thing there where I have somewhere where I want my academy to be successful in all areas, and especially with my students, with the way they think, how they act, what they do, and just kind of how they conduct themselves in their daily habits. Individuals are starting to change. Because why? Because these things are being talked about. They're being self-aware. For some students, it's like, goes right over the head. Yeah, man, I came here for jiu-jitsu. I didn't come here for all that. It doesn't matter. You're going to get it anyways, because these are the things that maybe you don't get at home, you don't get at work, you don't get from your friends, you don't get from your parents, you don't get from a lot of things. And so when you come to train jiu-jitsu, at least with me, you're going to get a lot more than jiu-jitsu. Because why? There's standards there. There's things that are going to get done because of the mindset that I have and that I want my students to have. And when we all have that, then we all win. So what are your daily habits? What are your standards that go along with the things that you're trying to achieve to get you to that end game? So you got the end game, you got the alignment, and then you have your standards that you will not allow yourself to drop below. Friends, financially, health, mental, physical, nothing drops below this bar, because you have standards put in place that you will not allow yourself to go below, because you're trying to get somewhere. And if you don't have standards for your financial, your bank account, your money, if you don't have standards and you're just all over the place with your money, man, you're always going to struggle with that. If you don't have standards with your health and fitness, what you eat, day in and day out, you're going to struggle with that. You're going to always struggle with your weight. You're going to always struggle with getting in shape, because you just don't have any standards. You don't have any standards with your mental. Okay, I have standards every day. I have to listen to this stuff. It's an absolute must, because I have standards. I don't want my mind to drift off and go into a bad place. So I got to make sure I keep it in a good place. There's a standard there. I got a standard with where I want to go with success, and it just, everything has to have a bar. And if you don't have a bar in all these different areas, then expect it to be below average, expect it to be mediocre. And what happens? You attract more of that. You're going to be more around that versus, hey, look, this is the bar. Nothing drops below this bar in any area of my life. The way your car looks, the way you look, the way I mean, that's the other thing too, man. Like I've talked about that before too. The way you look matters. Every day you get up, you got to make sure you look, dress, feel a certain way. It puts out this vibe into the world that you care. Okay, if you wake up every day and you look like you don't care, you probably don't care, and other people are going to look at you like you don't care. So if you don't care about yourself, how are you supposed to care about me? If I go to the academy and I look like I don't care, okay, about my own self, then how are the parents that have the kids in our kids program, or the students, the adults in my program, how are they going to think about me? I mean, this guy don't even care about himself, let alone how's he supposed to bring his A game to me when he's not even bringing the A game to himself? You guys get that? So there's a standard involved there. So if you got a good standard, you have high standards, man, it's very hard to lose that way. It is very hard to lose when you got high standards. You don't have no standards, okay? None at all, or some in some areas and some and you don't have none in some other areas. It's going to be very hard to win and be successful and be sustainable and continue to grow if you don't have those things. So you got to put those things in place. And again, things like this every single day that I listen to just really, really help, because it reinforces the way I think. Again, some people, man, you're crazy. You're over the top. You're too much. You're this, you're that. I was like, man, I'm nowhere near I want to be, because what I listened to, I was like, man, I'm not even close to these guys. I'm not even in the same atmosphere, galaxy, whatever you want to call it, as some of the things that I'm listening to with these guys. I'm trying to get there. So, you know, it's all perspective and it's all who you're around and things like that. But it's definitely about your standards, your alignment, and your end game. All right, guys. Hope that helps. You guys have a great day, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. We'll see you.